I'm talking
Washington
about
was
the George
stretched out.
Washington that had no teeth. I'm from Philadelphia. You can't tell me nothing about the history of George Washington at all.
Your man made up then.
No. I got the history. He was in
Your
Philadelphia.
man made up.
Wait. I got the history in Philadelphia.
I got it from the Masonic Lodge, so go do your thing.
Where's the original Masonic Lodge at?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
it. So you telling me you're a Mason?
No, I'm not a Mason.
So how do you get in the lodge?
I broke in that motherfucker. Literally.
So you went in the Masonic Lodge, right? What did the Masonic
took all their motherfucking secrets.
And what's the Masonic secret? If you know about it, what's the Masonic secret?
The Masonic secret is us. That them motherfuckers
we are
came over here.
That's the Masonic secret. The Mama's Parade in Philadelphia.
That's not it.
The Mama's Parade in wait, let me talk. The Mama's Parade in Philadelphia. The Mama's Parade in Philadelphia starts on Moore Street in Philly. I'm from Philly. I'm where the Mama's Parade happened at. You telling me some stuff that you broke into. I'm telling you stuff that I was born into. I don't understand about you telling me you broke into it. What? Yo, he said that he broke into it. So why they wear this? If the Moors is not important, why do they wear a shrine with it tied down at 33 degrees?
Because they're some idiots.
Because we went into Spain and got them out of the Dark Ages in 711 AD, and they took our science. This is
how they take it from y'all? How they take it from y'all?
We taught them. We taught them the science. We taught them the science.
They can't never take it from the masters. The masters was in on that shit. Is what I'm trying to tell you. All of that shit is some smoke and mirrors bullshit used to trap your mind into some dogmatic argument on the low-level religious controversy, so you can't never see above level, so you can always stay below the plumb.
More science teach you to look within, not outside. So then what? More science teach you to look within self, not outside of self. So now what?
This is crazy.
It don't teach you about Jesus.
Okay.
It don't teach you about nobody outside of yourself.
Okay.
So what do you mean? What do you mean? Lock you into what? Lock you into your own mind? Because in the Bible it tells you to look within yourself. The Bible say that. People can't read. They don't know etymology.
The Bible is toilet paper to me. The Bible is toilet paper to me.
The Bible is a science book.
The Bible is toilet paper to me.
So you telling me? So what you telling me is you don't honor your mom?
I honor my mother and my father. That my days may be long on this earth, but the Bible toilet paper to me.
But you see this? This is a Moorish fez, right? This represents the womb of a woman, right?
I don't care what it represents. It ain't got nothing to do with me over here.
All right. So what makes you? Who gives you? What books?
On the surface, because they performing a function that don't look savory to the masses, but that's their role they have to play. We have to all fight the war from the angle we can see.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, I definitely understand. I see definitely through the looking glass. Okay, so I feel you. I just want to give you your flowers. I just want to come on and give you your flowers. I'm not gonna hold you. I know other people want to get on here with you, but keep definitely enlightening.
Okay, I appreciate it, sweetie.
Okay, peace.
Peace. What's going on?
Peace to the T. Man, I feel like I'm on the BT Awards right now. Man, we live, man.
Before we get started, let me answer this question right quick. Atlanta was already put on notice by the ceremonial tribes, right? Because our people froze up, so we sent people that don't look like us to do the work for us as a ceremonial tribe, right? So what you're seeing now is the nature response to Atlanta for not trying to clean up the dirt after they was put on notice. What's going on, guy? What's up? Tell people your name, man. Where you calling from?
Man, D. Preston. I'm out here in Cali, man. We pushing this real warrior energy. I just want to condemn you, OG, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want to talk to nobody else. Man, the spiritual community, they done crashed out. Man, people out here looking for their God bodies, man, and we still here, we moving. gonna get straight to it, OG. What you think about UVC radiation being ground level now, and how these?
You covering up your speaker.
You hear me now, OG?
You still got it covered up.
Hear me?
Yeah, you got me on your headset?
No, I just took it off. I can
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, what you think about the UVC radiation being ground level and it being 2023? You know, that's the 7 year. This is the beginning of their plan. 2030. 2030. I wanted to bring the culture in just because this kind of resonates with just how that 7 year tribulation kick off in a biblical text for all the house fingers. I want you to break their ass off, OG, because I don't think our people really understand what's really going on with how Big Mama moving and how Rock activated right now.
Right. So because we're going into the sun cycle, we have to go into a golden age.
Come on.
The golden age arrives at the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius officially came in 2012.
Okay.
So what we're doing now is we doing the awakening, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get the tribes to know that the government classified the tribes as gangs. First and foremost, we have to remember that. We are outlaw tribes belligerent to the treaty tribal governments.
Y'all gotta listen up.
These treaty tribal governments contracts, they were defrauded by the invaders who came to set up an interim government until we was a functional enough people after the war to reform our own tribal network of governments.
Oh, that's powerful. G, go ahead.
All of these so-called gang leaders is actual blood-tied chiefs on the land that's POWs of a foreign agency operating under the false pretense of being our government.
I'm following you. That's powerful.
They are all being bankrolled by an international banking cartel who operates under all what we call Federal Reserve type systems, using fractional reserve banking and the inflation adjustment of the financial instrument in order to steal everything from the people.
Y'all gotta listen. I hear you.
Okay, so now all of these chiefs have all decided that enough is enough, and treaties of peace was being written by all of the outlaw belligerent tribes to reclaim the land because we got the blood and the right of the organic originals of the land coming out of the North American basin or Congo called the Mississippi Delta.
Come on.
We expand from there and branch out like veins across the land in tribal settlements and took on different names amongst ourselves that we gave ourselves. Then when the invaders came, the Gullah Geechee Big Mama called all clans on deck to fight in the Gullah Wars.
Come on.
When the enemy tell the story, they call the copper-colored nappy-head chiefs slaves. We are insulted.
Come on.
We serve no man at no time. As the chief, we only give service to the duties and functions Big Mama delegated to us.
I'm right with you. Come on.
So when one chief makes a discovery that affects his clan, he must vex to his clan in order to offer up a solution to remedy or redeem his clan from whatever this particular issue is.
Damn, OG, why you going crazy? You gotta chill.
Okay, so now when the chief make a discovery that affects all of the clans, he is responsible to go to each clan and put it in the public domain and allow that clan to sift through his information and see if he really know what the fuck he talking about, and is this something we need to take action on.
Come on.
Now, what I'm doing as an internet campaign is a time-stamped and dated archivable format that, under the oral traditions of the original people from the land called the Americas, North, South, Central, and the outlying islands, Tonga, Samoa, Hawaii, down to the extended lands of down under, New Zealand and Australia, all clans on deck, have decided that enough is a motherfucking enough.
Come on. Now we rise.
Now, the grievance that we responding to is invaders sexually abusing our children and using them for sex toys with no regard for skin tone, hair texture, or any of that. They fucking all our babies.
Come on. The ones that derive from that prokaryotic cell, right?
It don't matter.
Okay.
The enemy is the same to all organic tribes of the earth.
Period. In that order. I hear you, OG. I'm with you.
Some of the organic tribes of the earth got blonde hair and black skin, or what we call chocolate skin.
Okay.
They born that way.
Okay.
And some of them got blonde hair and blonde skin.
They still consist of that neuromelanin, right?
That's still one of the 12 daughters of Isis.
Damn.
These was the 12 major clans that settled the entirety of the earth, dating back before Atlantis was a fart.
Damn, OG, I hear you. You woke my game up right now.
We've been here for trillions of years doing these cycles
Do y'all
in
hear
order
OG?
to train souls,
Come on.
right? And now that the school's been hijacked by the bad kids, in comes the dean of the university to kick their warden out, who was running it like a prison.
Damn. OG, you giving me game right now. Come on.
So now that they warden turned out to be a prison planet, we take their warden and treat him like he treated the worst of us. We didn't decide how we was gonna act when this was gonna go be. They did.
Come on. It's over with.
We didn't decide that we was gonna be the ones that had to clean this shit up. They did.
Come on. Pack up.
We welcomed everybody with open arms. And they thought that that meant we were weak.
That's why they got Black Friday on our ass.
Right.
Come on.
Our harvest of the turkey gave us the day that we call Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But they celebrate Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because after we got done drinking firewater, smoking plenty peace pipe, and eating plenty of tryptophan, because Big Mama always cooked the turkeys as a symbolic representation of a chief that was performing his function correctly. The turkey with its spread tail feathers is the head feathers of the chief.
Come on.
When a new chief is being christened, it's gonna be on Thanksgiving, and he's gonna get his own turkey. And he gonna cut it up among his wife and his immediate offspring.
Straight like that.
And then the rest of the clans gonna get up and they gonna go to the buffet and get their own shit to eat.
Yeah.
But first, Big Mama had to christen the new chief with his own turkey that he had to bless the table and all who sit to eat with the new chief, and serve them a piece of his community, which is represented by carving up of the turkey.
Ooh.
So we didn't know they was criminalizing our culture and monetizing our culture, and exonyms given to our culture to make us believe that these was some shit called a pagan holiday.
It's a damn shame. We better remember this shit. It's in us.
So now that we done had all this food to eat, and now that we done had all this firewater in this peace pipe, and all this tryptophan, and we go to sleep for day for morning, paleface get up and slaughter us, but they really wasn't paleface. They look like us.
All skin folk ain't kin folk.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah.
But they told us in the history books that they wrote to give us that these people that slaughtered the Pequot was paleface. They were not paleface.
That's that propaganda they pushing out. They got us
Right,
they
because they're trying to control the narrative.
They own motherfuckers crashing out. OG, you see them?
So
they got manifestos for our ass. Not to cut the wisdom. I apologize.
Yeah, now that we done whoop their ass, hey, go ahead. Cut loose on them, nephew.
Oh, everything. Hey, we out here cooking for Cali, OG. I'm right with you. We rising. They said it was going to be a few of us rising, not just one. It's in their book.
Hey, listen, your OGs out there been sending me messages.
Oh, yeah?
I told the OGs in Cali to hit them in the pockets.
Yeah, no,
You've been seeing the organized crews clearing out the stores. This is not no accident. This ain't no shit that just decided to happen today.
Come on. It's that cycle you talking about, OG.
Look,
they gotta listen to you.
You from Cali. You know Cali culture because you live it.
Yeah.
Who you know gonna put it without an OG or sanction it? Who gonna run up in the store in the mob like that? If the OG don't sanction it, who gonna do it?
The young homies.
But if they do it, it's gonna be a consequence. But who's gonna? The young homie's not gonna think to do it. The young homie's gonna run up in the liquor store with a pistol.
You're not lying.
They're gonna run up in the gas station. They're gonna catch the ice cream man. That's what the little homie's gonna do because they don't know no better. They don't have a value of $1. So who organizing these motherfuckers to run up in the Gucci store and clear the racks? Run up in the jewelry store and clear the cases. Now while they doing this, they telling the people that's working there, insurance got this shit covered.
Yeah.
They hitting them in the pockets.
Yeah.
The insurance hate to pay out.
They told them, they told the young niggas that they not gonna hold them too long. You see what they doing with the laws? It's part of the game. It's folding. It's over with.
Because the tribes in Cali is reclaiming the land and they making these motherfuckers pay on their way out. If don't nobody know what's going on, we'll explain it, the culture, and let you put the pieces together.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
So
that's powerful.
In Cali, they the organizational structure is not the same as in the Midwest with vice lords, disciples, stones, etc.
Yeah.
Out there, y'all operate on what's called the OG call. We operate on the chain of command. Y'all follow a chain of command, but y'all divided up different than we is. We divided up by the rank and the function you performing. Y'all divided by how much work you put in. Right? You can't be a triple OG and you ain't never put no work in.
No, you ain't lying, OG.
Because then the young G's is gonna try your ass to see if you're the man that you say you is, because there's no history or pattern for them to look at. Right? So when you see something that organized, you already know that's not no children organizing that.
Yeah.
Because only do the adults think in the terms of when you hit a motherfucker in the pockets, who do you make pay? Insurance. And the insurance companies is the biggest fraudsters on the land.
Yeah, they sick with it.
Right. Hit the motherfuckers and hit them hard. And when the insurance payout come, it compensates the business owner. And now the insurance companies is bitching to the motherfucking financiers at the bank.
Come on.
The motherfuckers who got us divided up into 13 central bank regions. Because that's how they was going to carve our land up among their clans that they call Israelites.
You going crazy, OG. Come on.
That shit don't got nothing to do with us. We not Ishmaelites, Israelites, Hamites. We ain't none of that biblical shit, because that's the book that they use to entrap us by making us believe it had something to do with us when it don't got nothing to do with us.
Come on.
We didn't know what that book said before 1492. We didn't. So how do that shit got anything to do with us?
Come on.
Our culture is outlaw culture to their culture. That means the shit they told us voodoo stay away from got to be our shit.
Come on.
So I went and investigated.
Click up on their ass.
When I got done investigating if the voodoo was really our culture versus their culture, I came out that bitch a witch doctor. I went in a priest and I came out a witch doctor.
Come on.
That's enlightenment for your motherfucking ass.
What makes you? Who gave you? What books did you read to say the Moors wasn't Moabites?
What
I
book
want to
did you
read the
read to
book.
say they was?
What do you mean? I'm trying to show it to you. I was going to ask you a question. If I show you a book and then you see the book and you say, "Oh, that's not a credible author," is that what you're going to say?
What's up, Nick?
All authors are credible for the fact that they wrote it down. There's some credibility in what they're saying. But every author that's writing is not telling you the truth.
So I'm gonna get a book. I got a book called From Mur to More. Right? It's called From Mur to More. It was written by Cosmo L. The letters and the hieroglyphs. It tells you that we are Moors, right? And I'm gonna show you the book, and then I'm gonna get you the reference. I'm gonna reference the book, and then I'm gonna show you.
You're not gonna find more in the hieroglyph. The word not that old.
Mur. It was Mur in the Bible. Mu.
That's a different
M-U,
word. That's a totally different word.
The word Mur, M-E-R, the word Moor came from M-E-R.
And that
That's
means
not the
ship
word.
in Egypt. That means vessel of travel in Egypt.
All right, so you're not a vessel?
Yeah.
Are you a vessel?
No, I'm in a vessel, but I ain't a vessel.
Mm.
So I'm talking about the body that you're controlling right now. Is that not a vessel, man? I'm not talking about your soul.
That's my
Wait.
macabre.
I'm not talking. We can go into spirit. We can go into soul. I'm talking about the body that you use in the smoke with
That
your
ain't
arm.
what
Is
the
that not a
Egyptians
vessel?
was talking about, though.
I'm asking you, is your body that you looking through right now, is that the thing that you got hair on it? Is that your vessel?
That's my vessel. That's my meat suit.
All right, then. I'm not talking about your soul or your spirit, Mo.
But
I'm
that
talking
don't
about
make. But that's not making me no Moorish American, though.
we are Moors because we're descendants of Moroccans that was born in America.
Okay, you might be, but I was over here before some Moroccans came over here.
What year was this?
I've been here since time was not.
All right, so wait. So
I've
if you
been here
connect,
so
wait.
long. Listen, I've been here so long. It wasn't no here when I got here because I had to make this motherfucker. That's how long I've been here.
Oh, you made it. So I'm just ask you this question, right? If you connect all the lands back together, where are we at?
On the land.
And what's the name of the land? If like I said, the earthquake separated the land.
At what era and what language are we using to answer that question? Because it's subjective.
We can use Morse Latin. We use Morse Latin because that's a language. That's where Latin came from. Morse Latin. It came from Latin.
Okay, that don't got nothing to do with me.
You told me
Latin
that
don't have
more.
nothing to
The
do
word
with me.
you told me the word more came from English.
It's an English
Latin.
word.
That's impossible. Impossible.
You must ain't looked at etymology of it up.
English is the newest language on the planet, on this planet Earth.
I know, and you trying to convince me that the word more is an ancient word that is not. It was used to amalgamate multiple terms in order to make us think we came on slave ships and we didn't.
We were never called Moors on a slave ship. They called us Africans on a slave ship.
Who was the navigators of the slave ships?
It was Moriscos, navigators of the slaves.
Morisco is also translated into English as Moor.
No, Moriscos are, and it translated in English is the Christian Moor, a converted Christian. Wait, Moors are not Christian.
You gotta add Christian to it. They still a Moor.
I never said they weren't Moors. What I'm saying to you, they were the ones that didn't want to get beheaded. So don't put it like they just traded on us like that didn't happen. What happened was
they came over here to rob, kill, steal, and destroy.
They didn't even do that. When they came over here,
they still doing it. They murdered Noble Drew Ali. They murdered Malcolm X. They murdered Clarence 13X. Them motherfuckers that look just like us, but they ain't us.
Right, that's true.
And you taking up for them because you don't know no better.
They're not Moors of America. They are Moors from Egypt. I mean, from Africa and Spain. They weren't the Moors from America, Mo. Stop trying to confuse the people by saying it was American Moors that was doing it.
We wasn't Moors in America. We wasn't Moors in America before 1492 in the expedition of the conquistadors.
When the lands, wait, listen to me. Before America existed, where was the Moors at, Mo? Before America existed, where was they? Wait, listen. Before the earthquake happened and land separated, where was the Moors located?
There wasn't no Moors.
It was more. What are you talking about? I just told you.
It wasn't no Moors. Morocco not ancient, man. That's some bullshit. That's some philosophical bullshit.
Abu Bakr was a Moor. Abu Bakr was a Moor. Mansa Musa was a Moor. What are you talking about?
Abu Bakr wasn't a Moor. He was an Arab.
Hannibal was a Moor. Hannibal was a Moor.
Hannibal was a Carthaginian.
Carthaginians, Carthaginians are Moors. They are Phoenicians. Phoenicians are Moors.
Phoenicians and Moors not the same people. Phoenicians came from the Middle East.
Phoenicians are Canaanites. Canaanite, Hittites, Moabites, and Moabites are Moors. They're the same people.
You arguing biblical philosophy in Moorish science right now.
Listen. So Sumerians and Phoenicians are Canaanites.
All that shit from the Middle East. Listen, all that shit from the Middle East, and it don't got nothing to do with us.
That's Africa. It's no such thing. See how you using the European terminology? There's no such thing as the Middle East. That's Africa.
Whatever it is, it could be from Africa.
See,
that don't got nothing to do with us over here.
You're indoctrinated. You hate your own people and don't want to explain and don't understand it.
I don't hate nobody.
You obviously do, because you can't denounce what we were and then you don't want to accept it. That's cool. I understand it. That's cool.
Shit is some made up shit.
Listen, if I call you gay, right? Listen, if you call me gay and I say I'm not gay, right? That don't give you the right to keep calling me gay, Mo.
Look,
straight up.
That shit's some made up shit. That don't got nothing to do with us over here.
Right. So what tribe are you from? What tribe are you from, Mo?
All of them.
See, now we can't have a real I can't teach you anything because you have a cognitive dissonance, Mo.
I don't have a cognitive dissonance. I'm totally aware.
Yeah, you can say the word as long as you know what it means.
I know where I am, where I'm from, and I know who I ain't.
So what part of the United States are you from, Mo?
In what respect? Where was I raised? Where was I born?
You said
where do I trace my ancestors back?
You can't be.
What do you mean?
You can't be. If that's the case, then you say you're from everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where is everywhere?
Wherever you find land, that's where I'm from.
All right. So
over here.
So that land that you're from, they have a dog has the name, right? A dog is a dog, right? It has to have a nationality or pedigree, right?
They don't have a nationality. That's a corporate.
A dog has a pedigree. What is your pedigree, Mo? What is your pedigree?
All dogs don't got pedigrees.
All dogs have a pedigree. That means where they're from.
All dogs don't got a pedigree. Pedigree's some man-made shit to document the bloodline they was trying to create.
Oh, so are you human? Are you human, Mo?
No.
So what are you, Mo? What are you?
I'm the spirit of the earth spirit walking in the human form.
Oh, so how you using words but don't want to acknowledge other words' meanings?
Because you already on some closed-minded shit, on some made-up, created fiction that I'm not going to participate in.
So you don't want to acknowledge words, but you acknowledge some words.
No, I acknowledge all of them. That's some bullshit if it's bullshit.
How is it bullshit when it's on statues in Florida? The Olmecs had feathers on. The Olmecs in Florida had feathers on.
Look.
Oh, all right then. Now it's look.
The Olmecs didn't have no feathers on. They had feathers on.
Ah, shit, I got it in this book right here. What are you talking about? What's this? What the hell is this in the book? That's a fez, Mo.
That's not no fez. That's not a fez. It's not even made out of the same material. That's because it look like a fez, so you don't make it a fez.
Look. It says right here, look, bro. So I'm gonna read it to you since I can't read, or you act like you can't read. You don't want to acknowledge words, right? So listen, read this right here. What does it say? This is an image of an Olmec head. Read it. Read it under the undoubtedly of a blackamoor. They called it blackamoor because you can't put an adjective and a noun in the same word, so they separated. One is an adjective and one is a noun. The headdress resembles a
mothers across the land. They gonna let Mother Khadijah know what's going on. They gonna give her back a report, and then she's going to give her order. And the government that failed, the ones that's holding on to listen to her to give her order, because she can't say nothing until we organized. She can't get no orders till we organize, grassroots level.
Yeah.
The work you doing, bringing me on here to even talk about this, is our efforts to reach out to our people and tell them we got to return to our traditional oral traditions in order to throw their false, artificial, legal fiction, de facto corporation acting under the pretense of fraud off the land. Can't use their system to throw them off the land. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
But what has something to do with us is our system. So all of the OGs in California is organized. They wait. On the West Coast, they ready. They have moves being made to cripple the financial stability of the opposition on the land on the West Coast. Right? So this is what you seeing going on there. That's why the governor was saying it was lawless in California.
I
That's
saw
what
that.
he's
Yep.
talking about.
Don't
Everything
come.
is well organized and it flows smooth. That means that they are operating in a military capacity among the tribes.
Mm.
They are only attacking institutions that hold economic prominence on the land.
Fight Club.
Right? So they was robbing those rich billionaires that we don't even know over there. They was up in their cribs and shit because they hitting them in the pockets.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the way the tribes from the West Coast say, motherfucker, if you on our land and we can't have none, y'all can't either. If we can't have peace at home, y'all can't have peace in our house.
Indeed.
Why would we let you come in our house, give us hell?
They live nice.
Peace.
Living nice.
Right? So they gave the appearance of legitimacy using the system of uniforms, labels, and titles. And that's what tricked us into thinking that the police was actually our friend. Them motherfuckers don't give two drops of shit about us. Anything you say to them is the wrong thing to say to them. Right?
Yep.
Because they only looking to find a reason to lock our ass
Lock
up.
you up. Yep.
They're not trying to solve a crime. They're not trying to bring justice to the community.
Wait for you to slip up.
They trying to find more food to feed their prison industrial complex.
That's it.
Now, the more arrests they make, the higher they move up in rank, the more raises they get. You see a parallel here? Right? So once they get to be detectives, now they get to go undercover in the community and start some real shit.
Yeah.
Right? But we see through all that shit now, all of their tactics, we documented that shit and shared it in the public domain. So we know what they're doing now. There ain't no secret no more.
Yeah.
So now all we got to do is look at the tactic and we can trace it back to the source.
Yeah.
And you got the enemy exposing itself trying to be an asshole.
Sure. Yep. There's a question here, but I got one more question before I'm going to do that. That question, because you brought something to my mind. I know we ain't really talk about space, but I'm going to do something that still affects all of us, dealing with us coming into the sun cycle and solar flares. What type? Could you break down the importance of us being now in the sun cycle and the solar flares and how they affect us?
If you go back to I think it's the 18th dynasty, Tutankhamun, you see Akhenaten has a picture of the sun over his family, and at the end of each one of the rays of the sun, there's a hand.
Yep.
So from the sun, we get information, data, input. The sun don't even have to be real for the purposes that it's being used for. It's emitting gamma rays, UV rays, UVBs, all these different spectrums of light is coming from the sun. That's the center of our solar system. Right? As this energy comes to the earth, it gives us information on a DNA level.
Yeah.
Right? So the way that I'd like to describe it is information of life comes in from the sun on angles of light. And these angles of light are angels of light delivering messages to the righteous. I meditate on the water because the water amplifies the message as I become the receiving vessel. I can get a clearer message and it's much more louder. Right? So the streamers in the matrix is the same as the rays from the sun. But the same way we get rays from the sun, each star that's perceptual is also sending light rays to the earth. Those stars manifest in the form of human beings. We call them star seeds. Right? The earthborn children of the sun are the originals. Right? And they are the oldest tribes around the world. right? So we communicate with Mother Nature because when we ground to Earth, it's the same as grounding the antenna on your radio in order to get a clear
Be a station.
reception on the box,
Indeed.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day when I was little, we had what we call rabbit ears for antennas on the TV.
I remember those.
Right. But then sometimes we had to use the clothes hanger and tinfoil.
I remember those.
But this is because we're trying to get a good reception.
Indeed.
Now, everybody got a different psychic ability. Because they told us that if we do anything of a psychic nature, we are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us suppress our natural psychic ability.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to reignite it is to start practicing as if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Right? So we use oracle implements like tarot cards, the runes, the I Ching, the crystal readers,
Mm-hmm.
all these
pendulums,
and pendulum. All those are training wheels.
Mm-hmm.
The one that you're drawn to tells you which psychic ability that you naturally want to enhance.
Okay.
That's why you're drawn to it.
Indeed. That makes perfect sense. Okay. I'm going to let this question go because I know they put in here and I got another one after you. But the question is, so what happens after people start cleaning out their filters?
When you clean your filter, your organism functions at a higher level. You can facilitate a stronger electromagnetic current, which generates a stronger electromagnetic field, which causes a denser aura, which allows you to be a much more firm and stable person overall.
Makes sense. Another question I have specifically dealing with conjuring, in metaphysics on our, dealing with like hoodoo and as we know, Native American metaphysics, is that something that is all connected to, to Africa, to Kemet, Samaria, whatever the case may
Okay,
be?
those sciences, so these are denominations.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodoo, Wicca, Santeria, Brujeria. Those are saying the same with the ancient culture is saying denominations in the Christian church. Right? So they're all part of the ancient arts. Now, when we come up and we begin to become astute in one of them, let's say Hermeticism, we then become required to study all of the rest of them in order to get an overview of what mysticism is really about.
Now, is it? Do you think it's something as far as somebody like, if you're native, to the land? Do you think is it still up to your choice, kind of to, how do you explain it? Like, do you think that you would gravitate more so to something more so native, as far as if you are like metaphysically, looking for
our natural swag is the nature of tribes. Our natural swag, the way that we just are, like the people in New Orleans is a certain way. They love a certain way.
Two swans, right? And then it was these little birds called a swift, and they kept flying right in front of my face. So I'm trying to read what the universe is saying so I can translate it. And the things that I was downloading was tied to Malachi York situation. The Malachi situation is a unique situation. I read to the people with the Empress the order that was given by a competent judge to enforce the diplomatic status of Malachi
And when I read that into the public to let the people know what's going on, I was watching the Nuwabians, the Sabians, the old Ansars, how they moving. And the infiltration of black devils, as Dr. York called them, is so organized. And Malachi not in there for what they say he in there for. He in there because of flat out betrayal. And so while I'm watching, seeing how everything is unfolding, I keep telling people it's not about money. Money not the issue. We're getting any other chiefs that's been held in captivity out. The only remedy is sovereign jurisdiction, not nationality. A sovereign overrides nationality. A sovereign dictate to nations what they gonna do. So it's not about nationality, it's about sovereign jurisdiction. It's about organizing we the people to understand what's taking place across tribes on the land in the face of the common enemy. I never seen anything like this phenomenon. When I was first told to look at it, they said that the infiltrators was more organized than the FBI and the CIA. And I'm like, that's some organized ass shit. Excuse my language. I try to hold my profanity down for this particular one. So, as we make our steps to regain our sovereign jurisdiction and our tribal right to govern this land, this is an ongoing process. Everybody want a fast food, pop it in the oven, microwave fix. That doesn't exist in reality. That's the conditioning of the fast food culture. The transfer of power from one group of people to another group of people is a process. And process has been dragging on for 5 years now. And now we are closing in on where they ain't gonna be forced to release the chiefs to allow them to address their tribes. It's chiefs y'all don't know about that's been held in captivity. We know about the ones who are higher ranking, like Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, Chief Malik Angel Bay. We know about Big Tookie. We know them names because those are urban legends that's larger than life. So when you look at the infiltration that the Panthers went through, you go back to the FBI snitch program. All this is stuff that's already in my Instagram. As you scroll closer to the bottom, a lot of this information will come up. But as you go through the COINTELPRO operations, we got to out-strategize these people. Go back to what Martin said. He said, build, baby, build. Organize, baby, organize. He say, we are out-organized more than anything else. What did Malcolm say? Malcolm say they will use the media to make the good guy look like the bad guy and convince the public to demand the lynching and demand the blood of a righteous man by media influence. We looking at this stuff. Y'all looking at stuff, but y'all ain't paying attention. See, I've been telling people for years now, GINDJAB was Clive Davis. That was his job. The chain reaction is what you looking for. Because Diddy get investigated, and now Clive is in peril. The same motherfucker same one put the hit on Whitney, same one put the hit on Bobby Christina. He the same one owned the Face Records, same one owned Bad Boy, same one owned So Def. He the same one that slid up under Aretha Franklin. He's the same one slid up under Phyllis Hyman and dog handled these people and think that judgment ain't coming for his head. The chain reaction, it's gonna blow y'all mind when y'all find out who the facilitators are. See, they think they can move to places like Mexico and escape the wrath of this beast. The beast is purging itself. He's going through a catharsis. And the beast is the legal fiction that you call the U.S. corporation or the United States government. The catharsis is they can't give it back to us until they get done rounding them up. So while we looking at what's going on, remember the chain reaction. One thing leads to another thing that leads to another thing. Malachi said, getting me out of prison is like unlocking a combination lock. The problem is not to get him out of prison. The problem is to get him home safe and secure. We can't trust the way that his clan moving to send him directly back, so we're gonna have to do what the tribes call bridging the clans. So you're gonna have to find a clan with the security capabilities to protect him when he come out of there, and to give him the opportunity to clean his house up before they allowed to run rampant over him. It's not about money. Not gonna get Malachi out. Y'all people keep trying to raise money to get him out. Let them raise money. They raising it for themselves. This is about jurisdictional supremacy. It's about the right of the people from the land to exercise their jurisdictional supremacy as the sovereign heirs to the Americas, to demand that we see our chiefs and let the chiefs give the reports to the people as they supposed to by tribal right, by tribal authority. They gonna tell you everything that I've been telling you, but they gonna tell it to you according to how they talk to their individual tribe. For example, Angel Bay might not call them dirty Moors, he might call them infiltrators. And he know who they is. See, when you fighting a war, you have to know the different strategies that you face with. When we look in the history books, that's what you call a frame of reference that allows you to look at a problem from a different perspective. You got to look at it from as many angles as possible before you determine the right direction to move in, because it'll reveal itself. Remember, the solution is always inside of the problem. So when you're reviewing the problem, you are continuously mulling over the solution. And as you continue to mull over the solution, it's going to become self-evident. It's going to appear on its own. This is the higher learning that you have to train yourself to do. Keep going over the problem until you can find the solution, because the solution is in the problem, right? It's about looking at the law of opposites, the law of correspondence, the law of cause and effect. You have to look at these things in order to look at it from so many different angles that you can't be duped. The saddest thing in the whole struggle right now is you have people that are related to a person that's done work, massive amounts of work, and earned everything they got, and feel like because they related that the person that earned it should finance their whole life just because they related. That is the most selfish, self-centered, egotistical, sociopathical, narcissistic manner of thinking. Entitlement by relation. You just because you have the title of prince don't mean you're gonna be a king. You might not earn your right to sit on the throne as the king. So you just gonna live your life and you're gonna be 90 years old and they still gonna be calling you Prince Charming. Because you don't want to do the self-work required to give you, to exercise your blood right to secure your kingdom and your king seat. So you feel because you related to the one who did the work that by proxy that they work should be attributed to you. It don't work like that. That's why many are called and few are chosen, because don't nobody want to do this hard ass work. Don't nobody want to do the heavy lifting. Don't nobody want to grab the bear knowing that he might not survive. They all want to play it safe. They want to fly under the radar. They don't want to ruffle no feathers. They don't want to step on no toes. What happened? They end up with a brown nose. They end up being subjugated. They end up being a willing participant in their own subjugation and oppression. You can't break nobody like that free. The only person you can help get free is the one who value freedom more than they value servitude and bondage. But the ones who want to go along to get along, they make it hard for the ones that's putting in the work to get us all to the place where we can be able to be rightfully compensated for the work that we do. All this knowledge I be giving y'all, I was already paid for. I keep telling people, my sister and brother paid for it. That's why I give it away for free. Right? Why I don't do arguments and debates? Because what's the first thing that somebody say in a debate? What's your source? What's your source? So now I'm arguing somebody else's opinion as if it's fact. So I'm going to use somebody else's opinion to validate my perception. They're not more valid to me than I am to me. Look, look at the literacy rate for the last 200 years around the world. Then look at who was allowed to learn before the advent of the slave system that accidentally gave more people knowledge than ever before, trying to keep them oppressed. You reverse educate them to make them put themselves in bondage. But the literacy rate in the 1800s, who is these people that's writing this paperwork? They all in secret societies, because the only people that was learning to read and write was the ones who was a member of a brotherhood, of a guild. Reading and writing is not commonplace in the historical narrative as people would like to believe. The majority of people could not read or write. So when you have slaves writing these narratives in perfect King's English, Queen's English, or whoever the hell English it is, Who taught them how to read? I thought it was punishment by death if you caught one of us reading and writing, but you got these people writing these slave narratives. They writing receipts for ships, right? Who is writing these receipts? They was in a brotherhood. All of them is part of a secret society agenda, right? So they got manifest what language they wrote in, right? They telling us that these places, these ports on the west coast of Africa is where they was shipping the slaves off. Go look at them. There's cannons facing the water. The cannons is not facing inland. The cannons are facing the water. Think about that. You got foreigners invading the continent to get slaves, but the cannons is facing the water. Do you believe everything these people tell you? If the cannons is facing the water, the threat wasn't coming from the land. That means that whoever structures those was defending them against somebody that was coming on the water. Same with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, Pirates of the Caribbean, was the storehouse of conquistadors' wealth. As they pillaged the lands north and south, they stored their wealth under what they call the Code of Thieves, where you allowed to establish a safe haven for criminals under the Code of Thieves. Most of us don't know that it was really something called a Code of Thieves. And these were the blueprints for the money magic. Because they tell us there's no honor among thieves, but they follow a strict set of rules. They follow guidelines in order that one thief don't steal another thief's proceeds, right? Why are they thieves in the first place? Because they want what somebody else got without putting in the work. This is where we at. This is what we facing right now. We facing a group of infiltrators who want what another man worked for, willing to kill him for it, rather than let him retire on the fruits of his own labor. And now, here I am. I'm one of Larry boys. I'm coming from Hoover. My chief, Larry Hoover, is sitting in the same place as Dr. Malachi, the Nuwabian chief. Right? The same place my kindred chief, Chief Malik Angel Bay, who is the chief from my hometown from the other side of the family tree. He out the red. It's in the same place as Malachi. Right? Another chief sit here and watch this farce of a trial. Imam Abu Jamal Al-Amin. Y'all know him in the history books as H. Rap Brown. Same place. The U.S. government, the largest drug dealing organization that has ever been caught red-handed, when it involves the President of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan, the Vice President of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush, and members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but the one who led it was Oliver North. They the biggest drug dealing organization that has ever been caught red-handed. They were selling drugs in America. They was buying guns from the military in America. And they was selling these guns and small munitions to the enemy in violation of the Trading with the Enemy Act and got caught red-handed. They was trading the guns to Iran as the compensation for the Iran hostage crisis that didn't even take place in Iran. Let that sink in. That plane was never in Iran during the Iran hostage crisis. They was on a military base in Arizona the whole time in order to create this construct that the citizens of an American flight was captured by the Iranian government, the Persians, in history, who was the founders of ancient Babylon, who began a breeding programs at the base of the Mount Sinai. The Mount Sinai is sin, which is the God knitter sin. And AI is the way that you say a mountain or a hill, a large hill, a mountain. And Sinai became known as Zion. Before it was Zion, between Zion and Sinai, it was the Sion. Watch the letters and the flips of the S's and the Z's. Right? Now, these same people still here running the same scam being exposed. Right? And they calling themselves Zionist Jews. And they over there, they financed and created Hamas as the Mossad operation. The same way that the United States, under the orders of Barack Obama, created this entity called ISIL that became known to the broadcasters of the news media as ISIS. And that was a direct attack to the rise and return of the matriarchy, because now they have to dirty up the name of the divine feminine, the great mother, or Set. We call it Isis in English. And this is the same that it is in Greek, but they told you it was Jesus. But the J 500 years old, and the Greek is 2,000 years old. So 1,500 years before there was ever a J, they was using the I, but in order to confuse you, they made you become fishers of men looking for a woman. The whole time they told you to your face, behind your back. The reason why they made the J is to confuse the language. They find both sides from Switzerland. They all been rounded up. A lot of people late as hell. They all been rounded up. They didn't round them up in Switzerland. They didn't rounded all of the royals up. The royals have surrendered their royals to a guy named J.F. Kalungi Jr. For those who don't know who that is, that's John F. Kennedy Jr. The Kalungi name comes off of his association with the Onassis family, who gave him the name Kalungi when he hid him out and rescued him from the assassination. But we don't know nothing about that stuff because we don't know what these people doing, even though they telling us. Right? So straighten out the J. The backwards J is the letter Lam. And the letter Lam stands for the word lo, which takes us from Malachi and reverse engineering back to the prophecy of Elijah in the book of Lam, back to the book of Malachi, right? So they played us like a Stradivarius. It's really pronounced Stradivarius, but it just sounded funnier to say Stradivarius. Anyway, let me go on my corny humor. So we have to reorganize. We have to get a tribe that had already been purged of the infiltrators, right? And this tribe got to be able to secure high-level dignitaries. I got a tribe in mind, right? But that's the St. Louis knock, right? Red House, a flag maker. So when we look at these circumstances, when we looking at trying to help somebody, you can't help a person when the help is going to put them in the worst circumstance, situation, or condition than they currently in, right? You have to find a way. If you're going to be helpful, help all of the way. Don't just help some of the way. Don't tell me you're going to help me and then leave me stranded. If you're going to help me the whole way through. But most people can't endure to the end, and that's why those who endure to the end receive the crown of life. Because this is not for the weak at heart. This is some heart-wrenching information to review when you can't send a man home because you got people in his family that wish ill on him because they feel like they entitled to what he built up with his empire, how he built his community. They want him to disregard who he chose to give his stuff to and give it to them because they related. It's hot. This is as bad as finding out that the goddamn white man ain't white. All this time we thought we was fighting pale faces and the white man ain't even white. This nigga walking around infiltrating our organization, smiling with us, talking about kill whitey, and he whitey. It's a sad affair. Now I know what Pac was saying. They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. He said, all my riding, I ain't never think nobody look like me would shoot me. Yeah, because they look like us, but they not us. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. It ain't about the color of your skin. It's about what's in your heart. Are you ride or die, or are you ready to die? It's a difference, right? Some people will ride with you till the shit get thick. Then they bail it. But then you got some that when the shit ain't thick, you can't find them. But when it get thick, you can't get rid of them. They making sure you straight through the hard part. And because we don't hear about them when times is easy, we assume that they not watching in case they need it. But see, certain people pay attention to the people that's good for them and good to them. Some people pay attention to the wrong people. They pay attention to the ones that's good for their ego. But that ain't good for your soul. Your ego